But it was complete domination from the Huskies, who finished with the best NCAA tournament point differential of all time, and most importantly, another national championship lap. And it felt like a lot of their wins throughout the tournament. Pull away, stay away.
They were, and we're talking about the 8th program in history to win 2 in a row, and because UCLA did it twice with John Wooden. So just an unbelievable job by Dan Hurley, and to think they lost 5 of their top scorers. 5 of their 8 top scorers from last year. So it's not a team that was coming back totally, and he had to retool this thing, and that's also why he was National Coach of the Year, because of what this team did, and they just destroyed everybody, and they've been doing it for 2 years now.
Well, one thing we have to remember, too, is a lot of people are going to draw the parallel to the last team that won back-to-back national titles, Florida in 2006 and 2007. Florida returned 5 starters from that team in 2006. Dan Hurley, meanwhile, lost Adama Sanogo, Jordan Hawkins, Andre Jackson, Naheem Aline, and Joey Calcaterra, and was more dominant this season. UConn won games in this NCAA tournament, 6 of them, with a higher average margin of victory than the Baylor team in 2021, the Villanova team in 2018, the North Carolina team in 2009. You have to start talking right now about UConn in 2024 as one of the most dominant teams that we have seen ever in the NCAA tournament.
In the tournament, yeah.
Yeah, it starts to make me think about in 2020, Coach Hurley said, you better get us now. Yep. You better get us now because it's coming. Well, it's here now, and this is a back-to-back. But think about their journey of at every matchup, and look at the teams. Illinois, high offensive, high octane, 30-0 run. Alabama, let it fly from 3, shut the line down. And then you come to this Purdue game, and in the first half, you see the first play goes to Edey, bucket. You think that's going to be the tell of the tape, but in the second half, UConn's a second-half team. Their margin, I think, is plus 13 in the second half. You see them just start to churn, start to understand their teams and dominate. It makes me also think about, this was an away game. I was in the arena just now. First of all, Purdue fans, be nice. Goodness. The Purdue fans, it was hostile territory. It was like an away game, and I feel like that was perfect for UConn. They love being the underdog. They love them against the world, and it felt like that tonight. UConn Huskies, we on, baby. Who picked Purdue? GP down there. I'm just,
that might have been after he went in the dunk tank.
Oh, okay. Charge it to his head, not his heart.
And there were a lot of people in there.
We'll be friends tomorrow, Purdue fans.
Listen, it was a great game. Danny Hurley is an exceptional coach. He did a tremendous job this year putting a team together. John, you mentioned what they lost, and that's what you have to be now. You have to be a GM. You have to assemble points, lineup optimization, get these guys to play together, bring in a McDonald's All-American. He know his role. Tristan New did a tremendous job of leading, and Cam Spencer adding that piece was huge as well. And I'll say this is an unbelievable telling of why the Big East was shafted, because the #1 overall seed came out of this league, and who you think got them ready for this situation? The Big East missed out on 2 more teams. Seton Hall won the NIT as well. They deserve maybe 2 more teams.
You have to recruit COVID seniors with the same fervor that you recruit 5-star prospects. The backcourt for UConn all season long, 2 fifth-year guys. Newton, the MOP, Cam Spencer, the guy who was really the gas in this team's engine.
You want to start the car lap?
Well, Dan Hurley had an unbelievable game plan, and it was so clear to see that what they decided to do was they were going to go one-on-one with Zach Edey, and they were going to defend those perimeter guys. They were this is a team that shot 40% on the season, Purdue, from the three-point line. They were 1 for 7. Not only did they miss, they could not get threes. It's one thing, you can't make threes if you don't get them. They only got 7 for the entire game. A lot of that is because, and we talked about this before the game, the UConn perimeter defenders were much bigger, more athletic, and it really showed in this game. And Edey got 37. And they lost by 15.
Yeah, there were so many points in the game today where it felt like Purdue had the momentum, even the putback dunk, obviously because of fans, but it felt like Purdue had the momentum, and this is so resemblance to their whole run. You look at the score and you're like, wow, they're still up 4 after a team goes on a run when the team's calling a timeout. So UConn has a way of dismantling teams and making them look unfamiliar to the teams that we've seen all year long.
Listen, a lot of coaches have said, hey, just let Edey get his. Sounds easier said than done. But the other thing, the key thing they did, no fast break points. They were not allowed to get out in fast break. There's 0 fast break points. And Lap, you mentioned this, and again, coaches will go back and forth. Maybe some zone. They got in the lane at will, and you can't play though. You can't allow UConn to come off those curl cuts and those pick and rolls with Edey. Yeah, I know it's easier said than done, but for one game. No, but we said it yesterday, but it's like telling Bobby Knight. There were probably games in Bobby Knight's career where zone would have helped him. He won't play in zone. There were probably games that would have helped Jim Boeheim to play man-to-man. He wasn't playing man-to-man.
Two stubborn guys.
So, you do what you do, and you don't make it. You can't change. You practice for 10 months. You're not going to throw a zone in the team before the championship game when you won 30-some-odd games.
Yeah,
You're just not going to do it.
They got destroyed tonight. They got destroyed tonight. All
Yeah.
I'm saying is, and I'm not criticizing Matt Painter, I agree with you. All I'm saying is, it's for all the marbles. It's one game. Hey, guys, we may have to do something different. Because guess what they did? They played Edey and did not allow the three-point shooter to get a shot. And they may not have played that way all year long.
While doubling, though, we're saying it like when you usually double a team, you expect to get some open three-pointers.
Right.
You pass the ball. They doubled Edey and still scrambled so well that they didn't get three-pointers. Think about that. Think about that.
Yeah, I mean, at what point were they going to even start trying some threes again? Because they're down by 15 with under 4.
You can't shoot them. This is the defense.
Then go back to Caitlin Clark range. You're down by 15. You can't keep getting 2 points.
Everybody ain't built like
sounded
that,
like Lap
Zucky.
right there.
And another thing.
You have to evaluate the competition.
Yes.
This is a great team, no doubt. But you have to evaluate who they are playing against. And it's tough, as Gary said, to go generation. There have been so many teams with NBA all-time greats on their teams in the last
I love when Lap gets going. I
want
love
to
it.
add this. I have firmly felt that the 96 Kentucky team was the best team of my lifetime. Steve Lapis coached the 3 seed that year with Kerry Kittles. So Rick Pitino's team.
Because that's relevant.
I'm just trying to give you some context because he was there and he knows what I'm talking about. What I'm saying is this. The 96 Kentucky team won 6 games in the NCAA tournament by 21.5 points. This team won by 1.8 points per game more. This was the route to get to the championship game. Utah in the Sweet 16, who was their star? Keith Van Horn. Who was their point guard? Andre Miller. Regional final, they beat Wake by 20. Who was the center for Wake? Tim Duncan. National semifinals against UConn. Who's the 5-man? Marcus Camby. And then they beat Syracuse in the title game. That's who Kentucky had to get through in '96. Apples and oranges.
Yeah.
And I don't want to get yet into the Planet Zerbiak top 25.
Apples, people live on that planet.
Apples and oranges and AI over there. AI had a kid.
The thing I'm stuck on is you don't like dynasties, Wally.
Yeah, you don't like Tiger Woods? You don't like...
No, like again.
Shaq and Kobe. Are you kidding me?
This makes a lot of sense because people that usually don't win a lot don't like dynasties because they want them to fall. So I love dynasties. I love being the overdog because everybody wants to cheer for the Cinderellas.
Overdog?
Yeah, everybody wants to cheer for the Cinderellas and they want the stories of the lower seeds coming back. I'm always cheering for the big dogs, and now when Wally just said that, it clicked because you always cheer for what you are. So I get it. I get that Wally doesn't like dynasties. You got to be a part of one to want to rep them.
Watch your head,
You know what?
Watch your head, Wally.
She's right. I couldn't beat Shaq and Kobe. Lost to him 3 straight years in the playoffs. It drove me crazy, but I was trying my butt off, and that's what the rest of college basketball has to do.
All love, Wobble. All love, baby.
I love it.
I'm just so glad we destroyed him on the last night.
It's like in Congress, I yield. I'll let that have my last 2 minutes.
It's not the same with him down there, though. It's not the same with him over there.
I'll
I
just say
love
this.
you, Wobble.
And I guess Tiger Woods beat him at golf, too.
I'll just say this. You know, it's like when people have the Jordan-LeBron debate. And the bottom line is you could talk about LeBron and how many points he scored and one of the greatest statistical players ever. But Jordan dominated his era. And what's happening right now, the way college basketball exists, this team is dominating this era. And that's what's happening. And I'll go a little bit further, right? 4 of the last 8 champions have been from the Big East. They're dominating this era.
6 of the
Big
last
East,
25 came from UConn.
there you go. So what I'm saying is Big East basketball is fantastic. And it's a shame, and I'll say it again, that only 3 teams made the NCAA tournament.
And they're the first champ from a conference with 3 or fewer bids since UNLV out of the Big West.